Welcome to the Hosel Rockets Podcast, the #1 golf podcast for new product launches, interviews with industry experts, golf trends, and more. Here are your hosts, Jen, Ken, and Bill.
Hey, I'm Jen.
I'm Ken.
And I'm Bill.
We want to thank you for joining us again for this week's Hosel Rockets Podcast. This week we have Jeff Stewart from Nike Golf. He's going to be sharing with us some sneak peeks of some product that we won't see until, I believe, around January. Is that right?
Yeah, some new 2020 product, some new licensee product. So excited to see that.
Very cool. I'm also going to give a quick shout out to Jesse D, who is one of our super fans. So thanks, Jesse, for following us.
What qualifies someone as a super fan?
He has Jen's Peeps that he uses each week. So, so he likes me.
Okay.
Therefore, super fan. Do you guys have any super fans yet?
I thought you were, but clearly maybe Bill does. I don't know.
If anyone follows us, then we have super fans, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
we'll check that next time, maybe.
Next time.
Okay.
All right. Let's dive in. What are we going to talk about this week?
Well, we have a couple new products that just landed that I thought we kind of could share with the crew out there.
We want to talk about our personal lives at all?
I don't know.
The ins and outs of our daily grind.
Bill's house physical therapy on your knee going.
Spectacularly. Yes. Yeah.
All right. For those that are watching, we had to stop because Jennifer was showing a little too much leg at the moment. So we're going to pick up a little bit. Yes, exactly. So we have new Strixzone golf balls. For those, we will go into all the details again. But two-piece golf ball, low compression.
We have to go into all the details again. We just lost half the show.
All right. So green, orange,
fluorescent red.
Yeah, or
bright red.
Or Jennifer thinks purple with green polka dots.
Pink,
clearly. So.
Matte red, fluorescent green, bright orange.
Spectacular.
Yeah. So the soft feels a great seller in store and
By
online for us.
And are these brand new?
They're brand new. They literally just hit yesterday. So we're super excited about them. They're going to do really well. Color has exploded across golf balls, and as we've talked about before,
Ken really likes color.
Well, and everybody has a hierarchy of color in their in what makes more visible balls versus less. So I think I've told you guys the story about peeing in them, hitting the two-tone balls, and icing. You know, a red and white ball, I see red, you see white, and so you know, this golf ball I might see 2 or 3 times farther than a white ball.
I'd like to see white out of this thing.
Yeah, but it would be it might just be just the opposite with you. So. As Bill knows, we're selling lots and lots and lots of color golf balls.
Do they sell like a combo pack where you could get a whole bunch of different colors and then see which one you see the best?
They don't, but in our brick and mortar store at Hagen Oaks, we do that all the time for customers and let them mix and match a 4-pack with different colors inside. So,
how much do these retail for?
$20.
Awesome.
Great value.
These would be fun to put underneath a inside a stocking, by the way, for Christmas. I know I feel like I'm still the only one who's actually thinking about Christmas shopping, at least on this couch.
Yeah, it's still November. Sorry.
All right. I am excited about the next thing you want to talk about, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah. Let's go on. Why are you putting those like behind me? Why do I have to sit on the golf balls? They're not eggs.
They're gonna hatch.
All right. Mizuno. Mizuno has a new MP20.
Yes.
And you're going to tell us all about it.
I am. So first we're going to flash back to 1987.
Wow.
And
I didn't even know you in 1987.
You didn't? I knew Bill, though.
It was 32 years ago.
Yeah. And Tommy Nakajima, how's that a name for the past?
Yep. Blast from the past.
Yeah. Had a set of Mizuno irons called the TN87. And to this day, they're still one of the most collectible forged irons in the world. And the reason is because they put a very light coat of copper up underneath the iron. And so for those watching us, I've got a piece of paper up here that shows this copper layer, this underlay that they put underneath the chrome. And on the TN87s, they had that.
Okay, and if you're listening to us on a podcast, you can watch us on YouTube on the Morton Golf Sales channel. You can just find us there.
Yeah.
And then you have a photo up here of a copper
I'll let Bill be Vanna White.
Mizuno.
Again.
I lost my Vanna White status, huh?
Yes.
Most definitely. And copper was used heavily in golf club equipment back in the late 80s.
Yes.
Mid 80s or late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, and Bill, Tommy Nakajima was, he won 48 times on the Japanese tour. He finished in the top 10 in lots of majors. He was one of the most well-known, kind of real first international superstars across the world of golf.
All right, so why do we care about him now?
Well, because that particular iron set that he used kind of is the foray into this new MP20 line of irons.
Old is new again.
It is. So on the 3 new MP20 irons, they have done this copper underlay and then put a nickel chrome cover over the top of the iron. And what it has resulted in is an exceptionally soft forged iron. Mizuno irons have always been really soft, but with this copper underlay that they're doing, it covers the whole iron head as the photo shows, but then the nickel chrome over the top makes it even softer.
You were talking about some other little weirdo thingamabob.
Yes. So
it was a very technical term. I think that was it. Weirdo thingamabob.
Pretty sure that wasn't it. But I can talk about grain flow forging.
That is what it was called. Grain
Yes.
flow forging. Same thing.
So with forged golf clubs, they forge them out of a billet of steel, meaning that a steel is forged under tons and tons of pressure, and it has grain in it, just like wood does. And with Mizuno, they actually, when they stamp them out of that, they actually stamp it so the grain runs down the hosel and then across the face of the golf club.
So it turns.
So it turns. They actually make it long and then they actually bend it.
And how does that differ from other golf clubs?
Because with other forgings, the grain can run this way, or it can run.
What does that mean? This way.
It could run from face to back of the iron.
So short, just a small.
It could run any which way, and more importantly, it can run any which way from different parts of the iron. So your 8 iron could run from front to back. It could run from top to bottom.
Multiple directions.
Multiple directions.
Is that something that anyone typically cares about?
What it does is by grain flow forging and having the grain run the same way in each of the iron, the consistency from iron to iron is going to be better.
Okay, I get that, but do most manufacturers and most club people, do they typically care about this grain? I mean, are they just casting their clubs? Is that something that most
Well,
of them
they're not
care
casting,
about?
they're forging their golf clubs. And most of them don't. Most of them are not forging their clubs in relationship to the grain of the metal.
Not quite as precise
Yeah.
as in their process.
Correct. And that's one of the reasons why Mizuno are the best-selling forged irons around the world, is because of the care that they put into making sure that each one is consistent in grain flow forged.
Okay, and so you're saying that by doing that, by taking this extra step, what is the end result going to be?
More consistency from iron to iron, so that when you hit one on the heel or the toe, you know that the grain is not playing a role in the performance of the golf shot at all. So it's the
And does it typically?
That's to be debated. I think if you talk to anybody other than Mizuno, they'd say no. Mizuno feels strongly that their golf clubs are better because they're grain flow forged than not.
So that's an interesting point on these.
The copper is the big piece on this iron, though. It's a new underlay for them and is making the golf clubs even softer yet.
And you said there's 3 versions of this club?
There are. So there is the MB, which is the blade, which is going to be really probably the most difficult of the 3 to hit, but is going to be what the tour guys are going to be using. I'll give that one to Bill.
So that would be for very low handicap?
Yep. And then they have the new MP20 MMC, which is a multi-material iron. So it's a perimeter weighted forged iron, also grain flow forged, also with the copper underlay. But what they've done is near the heel of the golf club, there is actually tungsten in the embedded in the sole of it. And
so a little bit more weight.
so yeah, tungsten is much, much heavier than the forged steel. So it allows them to move the center of gravity lower in the golf club, create a little higher trajectory on it, and a little bit more forgiveness on it. And then it actually has a titanium plate in the back to hold the tungsten in, which is extremely lightweight. But so it's got 3 different materials in it, but still very, very soft, still very forged.
And who is this going to be for?
That's going to be
low
handicap player, but probably could go up to like a 15 handicap player.
Okay, well that's opens that market up quite a bit
does.
more.
Yep, and then the very last one in the iron family is the new hollow body iron, which is the HMB, the hollow muscle back, and this is a hollow, literally a hollow iron. So while it looks a lot like the forged iron that Bill has, they actually have even more tungsten in the bottom and the sole and out near the toe of the golf club than even this one, but has because it's hollow, they're able to actually fill it with foam and actually thin out the face. So it's the longest of any of the 3 MP20 irons. It's going to be the most universal in terms of who it approaches from a player handicap standpoint.
So this seems like another example of 3 different clubs that, even though they're all underneath the MP20 name, there's quite a bit of difference between the makeup of them.
Yeah, and what's super cool, and Bill, you can speak to this, is the interchangeability and putting sets together that kind of include all of them.
Now, why would you want to do that?
Oh, you might want more forgiveness in the longer irons, which are typically more difficult to hit consistently. But then when you want the feel shots with the short irons, 8, 9 pitching wedge, you might go to the full forged.
Mm-hmm.
Very common for a lot of our customers to do that.
That brings in and something maybe we should talk about right now, which is the importance of club fitting. I think club fitting is something probably a lot of our viewers have heard about and have probably gone through, but I think a lot of our viewers maybe haven't. I mean, I'm sure they've all heard of club fitting, but what is the benefit? What are the benefits of going through a club fitting? Not necessarily through us. Most of our listeners aren't anywhere near us, but why should they look into getting fit for their golf equipment?
So, here at Hagen Oaks or at our golf shop, we fit for 10 different variables, and those include things like length and lie angle and amount of offset and weight and shaft type and shaft weight and grip size and grip type. All of those different things adjust the swing, and we can put different equipment in somebody's hand and have them make the same motion, but have the end shot result vary wildly based on just the equipment that we're handling in their hands. Somebody like Tiger Woods, you can hand him any golf club, and within a couple swings, he's going to figure it out and hit it dead straight every time. The average consumer is not that skilled, and they're going to fight their equipment if it's ill-fitted to them. And so, I'm probably a good example. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm not, overly tall, but I use a golf club that's 3/4 of an inch over length and very upright, because I stand upright at the ball and trap it a little bit. And if I used a golf club that was standard, I would hit it completely sideways. But because I can put a club in my hand that's the right tool, it allows me to play much better golf and not hit the ball to the right, which I would do with the ill-fitted equipment.
So consistency will help you just lower your scores, have more fun.
Shaft weight's going to have you hit it farther. The grip size, if a grip is too small for you, it's going to create too much hand rotation. You're going to hit it to the left. If a grip is too big for you, you're going to not have enough hand rotation. You're going to have a tendency to hit it to the right, all for a right-handed golfer.
And that's really hard, I think, for the average golfer to be able to figure all this out on their own. Yeah.
Mizuno has a really cool tool that I should mention. It's called the Shaft Optimizer, and it's actually a little blue looks like a little missile that clips to the center of the shaft, and you take 10 swings with it, and then they have this algorithm that connects to one of our computers in there, and then recommends one of about 30 different shafts that they have available in their irons, and also a set makeup. So it will tell you that let's say the NS Pro Modus is the right steel shaft for you, but based on the load that you're putting in it and how high the ball is going and all those kind of things, that you should have a pitching wedge and a 9-iron in the forged, and a 8 through 5 iron in the mid iron, and then 3 and 4 in the hollow body. And it helps create a much more narrow focus on fitting right out of the gate.
And another cool thing about Mizuno is the fact that they offer, over 30 shafts at no additional upcharge
No charge.
and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
So that's cool.
Yep.
And this isn't even, we're not even trying to sell the Mizuno. I just thought that this was a pretty cool new product introduction. You're bringing out more stuff. I thought we were just talking about this.
Well,
More
Mizuno. Just touch upon the wedges that go with it. So the new T20 wedges, they're also forged, and what I love about it is that cool blue ion finish that they have available. Tour Chrome.
This is blue. This is blue, Jennifer.
That is blue.
Yes.
I would agree.
Just making sure
We
you
cut
see
out
that.
because I was revealing too much, but we cut out the fact that I disagreed with the color on that Red Bull.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to hold up. This looks pink to me, guys. What color do you guys think this is?
Back to that,
Pink.
Yes.
we're talking about blue Mizuno wedges.
Yeah.
Pink golf balls.
So super cool blue. Mizuno's.
Do they make that in the irons?
They do not. They do not.
Why not, Mizuno? Why not?
Yeah, I'm sure Mizuno is out there watching our podcast as
Yes.
we speak.
Why not?
Yes.
All right. I think that's it. Unless you guys have something else. All right. Should we introduce our guest?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So Jeff Stewart is the longtime Northern California Nike golf sales rep. He sells apparel, he sells footwear, and new is a new license that has some brand new gear. So we're super excited to have Jeff on board.
Did Jeff bring Tiger Woods with him today?
He did not bring Tiger Woods unless he's stuffed inside the gear, which probably
I don't think so.
would probably require the authorities. Yeah.
Should we maybe we should stay tuned. Let's see. Maybe he's here.
All right.
All right. Up next, Jeff Stewart, Nike Golf. Welcome back to the show. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
We
Glad to
during the break, we're kind of talking about the new Disney Plus and Star Wars. You have your tickets already?
For
The new
episode 9,
Yeah.
Does the Bear in the Woods? I'm sorry. Yes, I do, Jennifer. Of course. No, yes, I do. The midnight
Hey.
show, because I'm in a show. I have a show. Well, we're doing Susical that night, so I
And
have to go
apparently
to
it's
the
the
midnight
last
movie.
one.
Apparently, yes.
Sure it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, I do have my tickets already. Doesn't everybody?
I don't. Do you?
I need to get them
Excited
before I find out what happens,
I know.
which would be upsetting.
Yeah.
What's-
What about Disney Plus? Who's gotten Disney Plus?
Haven't gotten it yet. That just means my kids haven't asked for it yet, so we'll be getting it.
All right.
It's
and
fantastic.
who's watched? What's it called?
Mandalorian.
Who's watched that already? Okay, it was on. I didn't see it.
I saw an ad for it.
Yeah.
That's worth getting it alone, right?
It is.
It's really good.
All right.
All right.
I guess we should dive into Nike now.
That segue, let's
Yes.
talk from Star Wars to golf.
That's right. So Nike and Tiger Woods. That seems pretty synonymous, right?
I would say so. Back from the 1996 press conference when he said "Hello World" at the, I guess, the Milwaukee Open back
Yes.
then, right after he won his third U.S. Amateur in a row, all the way up to, well, recently when he won in Japan, when he's had kind of a tough second half of the year, but winning the Masters in April, obviously that was something probably a lot of people didn't see coming, and with all of the health issues and so on, his back, probably a lot of people didn't think he'd ever win again. So it's been quite a long run. We've actually had pleasure of having him at a couple sales meetings. We just had him this past January at our sales meeting, and couldn't have been more engaging with the employees, and did a clinic Q&A, and he's obviously been great for the brand. And probably if you ask people what the first thing they think about with Nike Golf, Tiger would be the first sort of word that comes to mind.
I don't think there's a company that's done it better than Nike of leveraging your athletes and tying them in with the brand, whether it's Tiger Woods, whether it's Michael Jordan. I mean, you guys have absolutely leveraged your athletes.
Describe the campus. I mean, if for those that have never had the privilege of going to Nike, it's like a college campus, and certainly Tiger has a role there at the campus too. Maybe kind of get into that.
Well, yeah,
a little
he
bit.
literally
So-
has his own. There's a building there. They call it the TWC Tiger Woods Center. It has a theater in it called the Stanford Theater, of course, aptly named, but probably seats about 2,000 people. And when we go to our sales meetings, we go in as with golf. We're part of the brand. So any rep, running reps, team sports reps, Jordan reps, everybody's in that room for the opening and closing, and it's like going to almost like a concert with performers on the stage and the whole bit. The campus itself, yeah, it really is like a college campus. You've got lakes on it, a lot of nature stuff. There's a lot of there's a lot of trees out there, and they've got hiking and running trails that run through it. It's very outdoor looking and very Oregon, I suppose. But it's a really neat place, and all the buildings that are there are named after iconic Nike athletes. And
one of my staff members in this office came from there. But where is it located?
It is in Beaverton, which is just up Highway 26 towards the coast, just west of downtown Portland. Probably about 30 minutes or so, depending on the awful traffic that happens on that.
In Oregon?
Yeah, in Oregon. Yeah.
And it's fairly unique because it's kind of like college where there's intramural sports, and I mean, everybody's encouraged to be an athlete that works for Nike up there.
Yeah, they have a saying, it's been around the last year internally, make sport a daily habit. There's people that their lunch hour, they literally go to a workout class and have a quick lunch, and they shower and come back to work, so that's encouraged. Part of a healthy lifestyle. I figure if people are happy at work and they're healthy, then the productivity's good and all those things that kind of go with it. So
very cool.
Nike has been in golf since the 80s and has, your guys' probably core product, his footwear. It's always been, at the forefront of what
Correct,
Nike's done, not just in golf, but as a company wide as well. The apparel's rolling. You guys had a foray into equipment.
Yes.
And then a few years stepped back, but there's a brand new launch of some gear, and that's kind of what we're excited to talk about here. So
Kenny, there's a company, they're a licensee of ours called JR286, kind of a unique name. They are out of Torrance, and so when we vacated the equipment business back in August of 2016 is when that was announced. So what we vacated at the time was all our hard goods, irons, woods, golf bags, golf balls, and that kind of stuff. All the hard goods, I guess, that we would call it in our industry. One of the things that the club business was obviously really challenging with competition, the costs, the margins, all that stuff that obviously you're very well aware of. But the bags and gloves, that was still something that a lot of customers, I know including you, especially with the bags, were still asking for. Jared 286 makes they make our water bottles. If you go to a store and you see a swoosh on a basketball, a Jordan basketball, that is also under their umbrella. So they're kind of like for belts under golf. It's a licensee. The reps are still servicing our accounts with this product. It's just a different company that invoices and ships the product out. So for the consumer, it's a little more seamless. Other than, I just saw some of the staff on the floor. They're like, "Oh, you guys are bringing bags back." So it's been a while.
Yeah, and they're working with Nike designers to kind of make it seamless throughout the whole line, right?
Yes.
So what are we gonna start seeing then? That's been
so they took over our glove business this year, and the inventory that we had, and basically owning that inventory, taking the orders and shipping it, and then coming in 2020 we'll have an update on the glove line. Basically all our athletes on tour still wear our gloves, so they'll be wearing this next year. And if you watch golf, you probably noticed since we got out of the club business, we have a lot more athletes out there than ever before. It's not cheap, but it costs a lot less than when you're paying an athlete to carry the bag, play the clubs, and the golf ball. There's a lot of moving parts there. So now we've got head to toe look, and frankly the hat and the polo are the real two things that move the needle for us. But it's a head to toe look now, and like I said, we'll continue with gloves with new product. I think the main thing that probably people will be happy about and notice being updated is the golf bags. There's three bags that are going to come out for next year. And
Jeff has them, so if you're listening to the show, if you want to check us out on our YouTube channel, Morton Golf Sales, you can you'll be able to see them there.
So yeah, they'll come in a variety of colors, but for our samples, we've received all black samples in these 3 options right now in stand bags, and they'll be updated. One of the things they wanted to do with the bags for next year, if anybody's watching this and as I go through it, they might recognize some of the models. They wanted to not just completely change it and overhaul it. They wanted to kind of seamlessly move from what we were doing when we vacated the category into something that looks very familiar to the consumer. So we did really well with this bag prior. This is the Nike Air Hybrid. This would be our premium bag. This will retail at $240.
Is this what was called before?
Yes,
It was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of the features and benefits of this, it does have a 14-way divider. A lot of consumers like that as far as organizing their clubs. It also has a Nike Air strap, which looks very similar to what we put on all of our backpacks, or you'd see in a pair of Air Max golf shoes. So for comfort and some
Really cushion
some padding.
looking.
Yep. It does have a water bottle holder that will help keep whatever your beverages in there cold.
Has lots and tons of pockets to it.
Yep.
It's is the 14-way divider all the way down?
It is, yeah,
Very
and that's
nice.
important to a lot of people so the clubs don't get cross one another and the grips get stuck. So that will be, and then we've got a nice hip pad here, and it's actually has quite a bit of perforations in it because when you're carrying your clubs in the summer, you tend to on your waist tends to get, or your back, lower back tends to get hot. So that's actually good for ventilation.
It's a gorgeous bag, and that's going to come in lots of colors. When is that going to be out?
So January 1st.
January,
Yeah.
will be when we're really
Okay.
getting into this. The next one we're going to have is the Air Sport, and this one has this is a 6-way divider, and you've got like the 14-way. You've got a putter well on the top and the same handle on it as well. And this one will also have the air straps on it as well for the padding. And it's a little bit lighter, and probably when we were doing bags before, I'd say this was our number one seller and probably preferred by the consumer as far as a carry bag.
How much do they weigh? Do you know?
You know
approximately?
what? Weight. I'm not sure on the exact weight of
Okay.
all 3 of them. I actually, the one that I'll show you at the end, the Sport Lite, I believe that one was 4.5 pounds on the previous one. And like I said, it's the same bag construction, so it should be about the same. The other thing I want to point out, just going back to the hybrid bag, is this also really parlays as a cart bag. For one, you can actually remove the straps off of it if you're basically going to ride or use a push cart primarily. And then the other thing that's really neat with it, it has basically a spot you can put the cart strap, whether it's your push or a power cart. It goes all the way through here so that if you've got your wallet and your keys in here, that the strap on that cart's not going to cover it. So it's really more meant for that. Whereas I said this one, the Sport, is really going to be more for sort of a traditional carry bag. The third one is our Sport Lite. This is the one I said should come in around 4.5 pounds. A little bit smaller, has more of that player's top on it. In fact, when we were doing bags, all of the Nike collegiate schools, this was basically the bag that they used, obviously with their colors on it. But that's one of the things that drove the sell-through on this bag. It was real visible on TV, Golf Channel, and have the NCAA championships. So super lightweight. Doesn't have the air pockets on the straps, but does have plenty of room in here. You've got a spot here for your your range finder, good size ball pocket, spot for your Sharpie, mark your scores or your golf ball. And we've got Velcro actually on all 3 of these on the side if you want to just put your glove on there. So
Absolutely, I think
and this one will come in at 160.
very
retail.
very cool. I think a lot of people like the Nike brand, and I think they're sorry and sad to see some of that product go away. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, Nike fans are passionate about the brand. I mean, it's
I would agree with that.
It's one of the more tight-knit brand advocacy brands that we carry in the store, and so when someone they want to be head to toe just like the tour players. So having bags, having these awesome new gloves, having the whole so they can be have everything on their bag and all their gear with the swoosh on it, I think is important.
We also had a licensee before that just did our towels, so now this will be all under one company. So we're going to have our players towel back out, basically the towels that you'd see the tour players have around their staff bags. We're going to have our solar sleeves, which sell
What's a solar sleeve?
Yeah, solar sleeves, basically like a really tight stretchy fabric that'll go over your arms, has UV protection. Obviously these days sun protection is really important. Some people feel that just sunscreen's not going to do it alone, or if you've had any skin cancer on your arms, you'll see people wear these along with like the UV protection bucket cap, probably not wearing shorts. We do sell and have sold quite a few of these in the past. This one we've continually had, so there's been no lapse in availability on that. It's just that they're taking over that for us as well.
And this has the dry fit technology in it that your apparel does, right?
Yeah, super breathable, stretchy. You want those to fit almost tighter than you would think, so that they stay on properly and
stay cool though, even though it's hot
moisture
in the summer,
wicking,
right?
dry fit technology. Yeah, it's not like you're gonna be out on the course on a 100-degree day here in Sacramento and you're gonna feel that they're have a sweaty feeling. It should wick away moisture.
Give us the Reader's Digest version of how dry fit works.
Yeah, basically it's the wicking is basically the pulling of the moisture away from your skin to keep you cool and dry. That's really
so it moves it from the inside of the fabric to the outside of the fabric,
just
right?
like you'd find on polo product or dry fit technology, even on bottoms. You're gonna have your lower back, your armpit area, all those areas, those heat zones where you need breathability on hot days. That's where it's most effective for sure.
Yeah. I know in some of it you can talk about, some of it you probably can't, but there's some new exciting things in 2020 for Nike as well. Maybe as a kind of last question, you can allude to that.
Yeah, we have, I'd say the lead is going to be a new shoe technology that we have coming next year.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's gone very well. It has a nice storytelling with new products is always important. It's a shoe that we worked with Brooks Koepka on initially, who is one that says he likes to practice chip and putt in his running shoes. So that was kind of the inspiration behind it. So it'll have a neat Nike technology story, and it will actually bridge over to the other part of the brand in running specifically, where they'll have a shoe with this same name. And we find whether it's the Air Max or the Roshe franchises within the company that come over to golf, the golf consumer is very familiar with those because they likely already own that product from the non-golf category, kind of those heritage products that we do.
I have had a chance to see it, and again, we can't say a lot about it because it's still under wraps, but I can tell you that they have some scientific data to back up that you're going to hit the ball farther wearing this new pair of shoes.
Basically, and it was an organic video the company did. We first saw at our sales meeting, like Kenny was referring to, and basically they, with Koepka, compared to the shoes that he's wearing now, that he won two of his majors wearing that shoe, the Tour Premier, he was able, with this new shoe, to get 2 miles an hour more club head speed, which is about five extra yards in carry. And a lot of people that I've showed the shoe to that are teachers, when you see the video, they get why this is happening. It has to do with using the ground for power at impact and so on, and when you see the video, it kind of makes sense. So I don't know what kind of advertising we've got coming for it, or it's going to come out, it'll hit the floor around 4/1, so right before that tradition unlike any other in April. So that is our main event in our industry, so there'll be a lot of eyeballs on it, so we'll take advantage of that at that launch time.
I know our team is really excited about it. It's really cool technology.
Yeah, that's amazing how club fitting, golf balls, and now your shoes. Everything's going to get you more distance.
Everything is just so high tech now, and as you guys do here with club fitting, you can literally, whatever product is, you can dial it into the needs of that consumer and with the idea of making them better at golf.
So, just for a recap, new golf bags, new gear, all start in January, and a super cool, yet to be named, yet to be identified footwear right around April 1st.
Yes, and there'll be a lot of eyeballs on it too because Tiger is coming back as the defending champion. So we literally already have all of our scripting and like for him what he's going to be wearing Thursday through Sunday, and
I'm guessing a red shirt on Sunday.
Maybe.
Yes.
Just maybe.
All right.
Thanks again for coming and joining us, Jeff.
Absolutely.
And well, it sounds like we're going to see you again in April. Are you going to bring Tiger with you then?
I think he's got something else going on in April.
Yeah,
it's probably going to take up a lot of his time.
Busy.
All right. We're going to be back with our Jackburgeroni experience segment. But before that, stay tuned for a quick break from our sponsor.
Hey, Bill here. I wanted to pause real quick to thank our sponsor, MortonGolfSales.com. Morton Golf Sales is the #1 online retailer for all your golfing needs. From the newest clubs on the market to the classics that you can't find anywhere else, Morton Golf Sales has the best products and customer service at the lowest possible prices. Want to check out their huge online inventory of clubs, clothing, golf balls, accessories, and save 12% on your first order? Just use coupon code ROCKETS at checkout on MortonGolfSales.com. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Now, back to the show. Mom's Beef Hash has a first name. It's from a Can We See?
But we all have another name. We call it Untasty.
We hate to eat it every day.
And if you ask us why, we'll say, 'cause Mama's hash tastes like trash and we should feed it to the dog. Welcome to the Jackburgeroni experience.
All right. Ready, guys?
Okay, I know what segment this is, and you said you were going to tell us what Jackburgeroni is this week.
No, I never said that.
I thought she said that.
I thought she said that too.
Why am I the one who always has to say
Does
everything?
Mr.
Why don't you say what
Burgeroni know
Jack
that we
Burgeroni
stole
was?
his name?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even there for the original Jack Burgeroni.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, but you're the only one that knows what it means here.
Okay.
Okay.
Favorite holes in golf. I have a couple topics. I figure we'll go through them because I don't have any favorite holes in golf. I don't play golf.
I don't think you want to remind people about that every week.
I think
guess.
everyone can
I'm not
figure it
sure.
out every week with my commentary.
#1 at Scandia is a volcano that goes up to... Okay. Favorite holes in golf. Well, the first one that comes to mind is number 16 at Cypress Point. I had the chance to play that with Bill.
What's so special?
It's a shot out across the ocean to a little sliver of...
It's a par 3.
Yeah, of green that goes out there. It's as dramatic and special as any hole in golf that I've ever played, for sure. I've played Cypress twice, which is a blessing in itself. The very first time we got up to 16, the fog rolled in there down in Monterey, and you couldn't see from me to the camera. And our caddy literally put a tee out in front of the tee box and handed me my 3-iron and said, hit your ball over the top of that tee. And I could have been aimed that way, or that way, and would have had no idea. All you could hear was ocean all the way around. And I hit a great shot right over the top of the tee, and we walked up there, and I ended up being probably 15 feet from the hole. It was one of the more remarkable things I've ever
Not sure
seen.
you get any credit for that shot.
Not at all.
So he still had to pull the trigger and hit it.
Exactly. But the next time we played was in just a torrential
Downpour.
sideways rain the whole time.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It's still super special. And this hole is a 235-yard par 3, which all of you listening or watching understand what that means. Jennifer does not understand what that means. But
It's a long par 3.
It's a long par 3. It's visually spectacular with the ocean crashing down on your right.
Yeah.
And if you're going to try to bail a little bit, there's a small window of to bail out to the left, just left of the green. But it was a full driver for me that day that we played into that wind and in that rain. And I know that also that...
Do you guys get up in the morning and, like, plan your outfits together?
No, but we share a brain most of the time,
Yes.
so I think we come to work dressed the similar more days than not usually.
Correct.
So, Yeah. What's remarkable is that 16 follows another hole, number 15.
It's Bill's turn.
No.
Quit stealing his...
He's not. We're sharing the same brain.
Yeah.
I was going to say this exact thing.
That's quite possible. It's not quite as dramatic as 16 at Cypress, but 15 at Cypress might be the second most beautiful par 3 in Monterey, right?
And it's just a little bit easier than 16.
Yeah,
but
it's
yes.
shorter, but it's literally right on the cliffs of the ocean, and you're hitting over ocean to what looks kind of like an island green up there.
You should stop. I think we're boring Jennifer.
Yes.
She just yawned dramatically. And
exactly.
If you could, those of you listening, Jennifer, who does not play golf, just yawned. And right in the middle of Kenny's amazing story, and it is amazing, right? But, yeah, so maybe we ought to go on to the next subject. I don't know, something.
What's the one down there?
Can we keep Jennifer awake here?
When we're doing the drive, and then there's that Cypress.
Cypress Point. Kenny
Is
just
that
talked
it?
about
Is
it.
that
Number
the
16. Hence the word Cypress Point.
Golly.
Okay.
Is that the same hole?
Well,
Is that
they
a
have
hole?
18 holes at this.
so the lone Cypress
the lone Cypress
is not on a golf course.
Oh.
It's just out
on 17 Mile Drive.
Yeah, it's on 17 Mile Drive.
Well, that's pretty too.
But Cypress Point has lots of cypress trees on it. This segment has gone off the rails and sideways. So,
beginning with the yawn and her.
All right, what other holes, Bill? What's some favorites?
What about Augusta with the pretty azaleas?
Zella? Okay.
That's a pretty hole.
All right, should I reel it back in?
Yeah, we
No.
know. Well, wait a second. I mean, I thought
What
we were
hole is
talking
that?
about our favorite,
You
favorite
have to play
holes
them.
that we don't.
No, I don't think so. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you're right, because otherwise I would have disqualified you immediately from this conversation since you haven't played anything. But okay, yeah, well, we could go all over the place, but I think we were putting a little personal stamp on our favorite holes. So
Yeah.
but not necessary. That's okay.
All right.
Yeah,
I
there's a
want
lot
to
of-
contribute.
There's a lot of amazing holes that are bordered by Ozellas over at Augusta. Yes. I think we mentioned it before. Number 12 is another amazing par 3 at Augusta, although I've not played there. Kenny and I were able to stand on the 12th tee box and
So did I.
I know, but it didn't matter to you. It mattered to us.
I think she yawned then.
Yes,
too.
I think she did. When she looked at her watch, if she wore a watch, she would have been looking at her watch.
Yeah.
What else?
I'd throw 17 at Edgewood Tahoe up there. So again, for those that haven't been able to see it on television
All
during
these
the
par 3s
celebrity,
we're choosing, but
but it's literally a tee on the beach of Tahoe and a green on the beach of Tahoe, and there's no fairway. It's literally just beach between those two things, and you've got the splendor of Lake Tahoe to your right there. It's again really beautiful right there.
We have a lot of international listeners. Do you have any place internationally?
The road hole at St. Andrews, probably.
Very famous.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker for a lot of people.
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
Probably most recently, Jordan Spieth bogeyed that hole, right? When he lost the British Open.
Yep.
But I was going to say, actually, again, since we're on the Monterey Peninsula, number 7 at Pebble Beach is iconic. It's a very short par 3, about 105 yards or so. But
super elevated, so the green's, I don't know, 100 yards down below your feet, it feels like. And, it can be anywhere from a just half pitch shot to a 7-iron, depending on
or
when
even more
when the wind is blowing.
Because again, the green is right at the edge of the ocean, and if the wind is howling in your face, you could be hitting. It could be playing 150, 60, 70, 80 yards, even though it's 100 yards total. So,
do you have any favorites up at the Bandon Dunes Resort when we've gone up there and played?
Oh gosh, I don't know. There's lots to choose from up there. Pacific Dunes, every hole in Pacific Dunes is worthy.
Yeah,
so,
I would agree. And I think Bandon Dunes number 17, as you're hitting that blind shot up over the par 4, that's another just fantastic hole. Yeah.
All right. Is that it? Is that all you guys have?
All right. No other holes you want to throw out there?
I got kind of teased for mine.
Yes.
And lack of them.
Fairly
all right.
So, I think.
Yeah. We'd like to hear from you guys, so send us your comments. You can post them on our video. You can tag them with my Instagram account, which is Jen_Morton_, I believe. Love to hear from you. I have another question if you guys want to keep talking. That is golf brands that aren't around any longer.
Ooh.
Maybe that you miss, or maybe that you don't miss. I thought, with Nike in here in studio earlier today, they're still here, but they're no longer in the golf club business per se. That would be a good tie-in. And what brands can you guys think of? I was thinking.
Well, I know yours.
Which one?
McGregor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were obviously, for their time, they had a lot of the best tour players back in the day. They made great forgings. They made great persimmon woods that were played by most of the professionals. I think there was only a couple of major equipment manufacturers that the tour players played back in the day, and that was maybe Wilson and McGregor, right? Two of the most popular. So, and they, of course, they sponsored Jack Nicklaus throughout most of his career, and of course, I think he really brought them to the forefront.
And you were a little bit of a fanboy.
I did, yeah. Jack was my hero growing up for sure. So
yeah, no doubt. I would probably throw out there some brands like Founders Club. That was, they really kind of Gary Adams was the original designer of the first metalwood with TaylorMade, and once TaylorMade took off and he split from TaylorMade, he came out with a new line of woods called Founders Club, and they were really good selling at first, but really they were shaped to where the sole of the golf club was narrower than the crown of the golf club, and was kind of the first metalwood to be really changing center of gravity up and down in a metalwood. And nowadays we take all that for granted because we've got sliding bars and movable weights and all that kind of stuff.
And the Founders Club tagline was fresh metal.
Yeah, that's the fresh metal woods. That's what they were called.
So. See, I'm afraid to mention the ones that I can think of because I feel like so many brands kind of go under and then they kind of get revived, and I'm like, oh, you're back. I didn't know that.
Let's hear what you got.
Well, one of them that was going to come to mind was Lynx, but
right,
I know that they're
Kenny
back.
Said they're coming back. That's still.
In Henry Griffiths, I don't know if
they're still full in force. Yeah.
Yeah, and Adams was. I don't know if they're.
No, Adams got purchased by TaylorMade and they're lost to the annals of time now at this point in time. Okay. So no product being made underneath their name.
What about
Izzo Golf?
Izzo is the licensee of all the Callaway accessories and products, so they're still around too.
See, this is why I don't want to. All these brands are going like, what are you talking about? We're fine.
Yes.
Jones bags.
Still, Mr. George Jones, who started that company. It did go away for a little while, but he sold that licensee, and they're actually back up in Oregon making bags again.
I would just like to say their rep, Connie, was like my favorite all-time person for a number of years.
Still one of my best friends in the industry.
Loved Connie.
Okay, so how about another one? This is kind of, I was going to say, this is kind of comical now because every company that she's mentioned is still in business. It hasn't gone anywhere, so let's see what Jennifer can come up with next.
You guys can name some for a minute.
I was going to mention one that maybe fit in Jennifer's camp. How about Orlamar, Kenny?
Yeah, that's that is that went away for a long time too. But now Harico, which is a component company down in Southern California, they're actually making product under the Orlamar brand too. So I think you're right.
Bullet.
Actually is being made as well. So
great job, Jennifer.
Cougar,
wow.
So Cougar, Bullet, both.
I don't know about Cougar, but I know Bullet. But again, they go from different iterations. And your comment about vendors not really ever going away is kind of likely. So I'll throw like Snake Eyes was kind of a as we talked about Mizuno's forgings, they were really high end forgings, kind of ahead of their time. They're gone. Goldwyn Golf, remember those?
Right, yeah, with the ultralight.
Yeah, super ultralight shafts. I actually had a 3-wood in my bag, and if you go way back, actually in high school, I actually used Head Sports, so the tennis company.
I remember that.
Yeah, they actually were making equipment for a while, and I actually played their head irons.
Right.
And actually, they have just been purchased and are going to be coming out with new apparel starting in spring of 2020 again.
I remember their warm-up suits that they had
Yeah.
going for a while there.
That was a big selling apparel
It was.
brand back in the day, for sure.
And we could talk about, not necessarily that we're missing them, but RES clothing and Fairway Blues.
Yeah.
And again, you just mentioned
Lady Fairway, are they?
No, they're
No.
gone. Yeah, that was
Whoop! I found one.
Wow. She
yeah,
got
lady
one.
shoe vendor. So, and ladies apparel brands like Darlin Designs and Marcia Originals and Lilies of Beverly Hills.
Oh yeah,
and
Lilies.
those are all brands that are gone now. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm afraid to mention anymore because I don't want to get any hate mail from these companies that are like, excuse me, we are very much in business.
That'll be a good excuse to have them contact you and have them be on the show.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I missing
Do we
anything?
do we want to have our audience send us in some companies that we're missing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we missing? What do you guys miss that you can't find anymore that we'll probably figure out is still alive and kicking?
Yeah, a club in your garage that you just can't do without because it holds kind of sentimentalism inside it.
Yeah. So reach out, let us know. And with that, I think that's it. I think we're going to bring this episode to a close. If you like it, please subscribe to our channel. If you're looking for new golf equipment, please support our sponsor, Morton Golf Sales. And we'll be back next week, hopefully. Take care. We'll see you next
Bye.
time. Bye.